Wow. Wow. Mm, mm, mm. Now, we all know LeBron James loves his children. No one's ever doubted that he loves his children. And he loves marketing his children. And we still saying we hope Bronny has the best recovery in the world as our prayers go out to him. And hopefully, he has a full recovery. All signs look good. We'll see what happens with him down the line. But basketball is the least concern that we have with him. Now, let's get to our concerns that we do have. And that one is concerning Bryce. Bryce James. Bryce Maximus. Don't know where you get these names from, but anyhow, Bryce has announced that he's transferring from Sierra Canyon Leone or whatever. So he's transferring from the high school his brother went to, and he's going to Notre Dame High School. Now, Bryce is about 6. He's gonna be about 6'6", if I'm not mistaken, because he's growing. He's gonna be about 6'6" when it's all said and done. That man's still growing. But I remember he previously transferred to Campbell. He went to Campbell Hall High School. But then he decided to move to Notre Dame instead. Now, here's what's the shock to this, right? And I'm going to just let it be known. High school is so corrupt. Y'all think college is corrupt. Well, high school is something else, especially when you have all these celebrity children that play basketball. And when your celebrity son is the most egotistical player in the history of the game who wants to market his children just to keep his own face in the spotlight. So he uses his children almost as pawns just so he can get and stay in the limelight. It's ridiculous. I've never seen this type of narcissism at this high of a level, and people are so brainwashed they ignore it and think of it like it's real. It's a dad that's loving his son. That's all this is. I'm like, why in the world can't you see this? It's clear as day. LeBron James makes him leave Sierra Canyon. Why would he leave Sierra Canyon? Oh, he left Sierra Canyon because Sierra Canyon had the bulk of their great players leave. So this season, man, it's going to be a little iffy. They definitely are not going to beat the high powered Notre Dame team that didn't even need Bryce, right? They clearly wasn't going to beat them. But he was going to Campbell. Campbell's a good school too. But something happened there. And then all of a sudden, he'd make the move to Notre Dame. Now, the fact that Bryce keeps growing, his size and his skills, he plays a much different game. Plays more like a big man with moves than how his brother plays or how his father plays. Bryce actually has a fundamental setting. So everybody's waiting for him to have that breakout year. But Bryce doesn't seem to be that type of kid that wants to go down that trope. Now, as we look at it, LeBron James reportedly had donated millions to the Notre Dame High School to fund a new training facility. What a coincidence. That's mighty noble of you. So, your son transfers to Notre Dame and you donate millions for a new training facility? Hmm. Is this legal? Can you legally do that? Because that's pretty bizarre to me. Because I'm unaware that Bryce had made a decision on his where he was going to go, but LeBron them made it over to the internet that this was going to happen, and they having a new facility being built, and the rumors is LeBron James has forked over the money. LeBron's a cheapskate, so if LeBron forked over the money, that would be one shocking, and if he did fork over the money, well, there's a lot to say. LeBron's a cheapskate. So for him to sit there and say, oh, well, I think it's only right if LeBron would go ahead and donate money towards a multi-million dollar athletic facility on the campus. Mm, no. I think that I think that this is setting a bad precedence for LeBron and his children and everybody around in the sports world. I think he's teaching his sons early. You don't have to follow the rules. You can get up and transfer and go wherever you want. And when you get to the NBA, you can jump up and bounce around and do all these wonderful things. And that's not true. All of that is changing now. All the cancerous things LeBron James has brought to the NBA is finna start being removed. Oh, yeah. As you guys are seeing with James Harden now, he's not going to have a choice but to play on the team. He can like it or not like it, but he's going to play. Because now, if he doesn't play, he risks being fined over $400,000 per game. Now, James Harden opted in on the player option in hopes of being traded. So this is why he's upset about what's going on. Now, there is a situation that's going on that people don't even remember. When LeBron James first wanted to come to this like arena and say, this is what I wanted to do, or this is how I think things should go. There was a lot of people who was out here making, accusations about how things should formulate. Now, I think LeBron James' donation didn't go to Notre Dame. I think it went to the Campbell School, that he was donating money towards the athletic facility there. And that's why Bryce couldn't go there. But he's setting his children up so that they can feel entitled. He's setting a wrong precedence, because now you ain't going to be able to be dictating all these trades where I want to go. But they figure we're LeBron's children, so we got the right. You giving them a false reality, because this is more him than them. You know, you could tell that right away. This is more them than him. Him than them. Because there's no way in the world I'm going to sit there and believe any of the things that were said that comes from LeBron's side. And the reason why I don't believe it is because LeBron is a known liar. Well, we got to understand something. Bryce James and Bronny James weren't the best players on their teams. Okay? They might have been the most popular, but they weren't the best players on the team. Notre Dame was one of the top teams in the sports high school world. So what LeBron says is, son, go play with the best teams and the best players out there. That's what you do, boy. You get out there and you play with the best. Yep, just like me. Yep, get a super team. That's how you win championships. LeBron, in the championship game that they won, wasn't even the star of that game. But nobody remembers the star of the game, because it's all going to be about LeBron. Right? So if you're watching that, and if you're understanding that, then you're understanding that people really just don't care how the scenarios turn around and go out. High school basketball is entirely different. It's a lot of politics. It's a lot of things in play. But when you start looking at all of the things that's on the table, when you start looking at all of the crazy antics that other people use, you start looking at all of the politics that other children have to go through. Imagine if you don't have the kind of money that these guys got, but your kid is incredible at the game itself. This is going to be a problem for you. This is going to be a major problem for you, because no one's going to take it seriously. Everybody's going to seem to have a different approach to it. And you're going to be the outcast. You're going to be the troublemaker, to say the least. You're the problem. Everybody's going to have a problem with you. That's the issue. I don't have to worry about that because the human nature of things is that people are going to be who they are for a reason. So everybody's crying about this facility and how that'll probably be a violation. If LeBron's donating money, he's pulling a damn Brett Favre down there, but he's using his own money, allegedly, to pay for a new facility. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Who cares? I wouldn't be sitting around worrying about what LeBron James was planning on doing at that time or said time. That wouldn't be my motivation. There's a lot of great players in the NBA. They just don't have to come from NBA children. Dominique Wilkins' son plays. I mean, you got everybody's son from former NBA players that play at this level. Dominique Wilkins' son is playing now, and you got Lala out there with Melo, and they're out there watching their son play. And Kyan is highly stouted because he has a high skill set. But in my opinion, they put a lot of pressure on these children, like not them, but with LeBron, and I think he brings that. Putting them on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and he's on there with them. When they're clearly not the best players on their teams. And it's not their fault that they're not. They're playing the game and learning the game as they play. But putting them on magazine covers and all this stuff you're doing too much. You're basically telling the world that these are the best players in the world, and they're clearly not. They're just your children, and you're famous and overrated, but famous. So that's the reason they're getting this publicity. If Michael Jordan was to do that with his sons, that would have been cheating the game of basketball. One, two, that would have been lying to the general public. They loved the game of basketball. They played it enough to get it out their system, but they weren't NBA ready. And Michael wasn't training them. He wasn't working out with him because he's too competitive. They didn't grow up like he grew up, like wanting it like that. Michael wanted it. They didn't want it. They played it. But it wasn't in the cards for them. And Mike knew it. He just said, "Hey, I'm just gonna stay out of it. Support them." And that's that. Now, everybody else can have their own inclination of what's going on and what's not going on, but I'm just gonna sit back. I ain't gonna have nothing to say about any of it. So, yeah, that's what was going on. And I just think it's a shame that I'm going to say Michael Jordan, that LeBron James has to continuously milk his own children to keep his fame out there because nobody wants to hear from him. He has nothing going on. Nobody's really even talking about the Lakers as much, which is shocking. But I guess as it gets closer, the Lakers talk will start ramping back up. But other than that, that's about it, man. So it's not Bryce's fault this is happening, but as you can see, it's his daddy. His daddy's transferring him to Notre Dame because his daddy wants him to continuously stay on a team that has a chance to win. They have a great team. They got some of the best players. So, yeah, having him come there is going to mean a lot. Yeah, well, when you got two cousins that play basketball, they play AAU, they play, they can get out there and run with the best of them. You know, when you have that on your side and going for you, what you don't want, yeah, what you don't want. Oh my God, I'm sorry, something just came up across the screen. But what you don't want is for this situation to get out of hand. Well, you don't want this situation to turn into something that is just so over the top. It just don't even make sense. Like it don't even make sense for LeBron to even be out here trying to hype people up. For what? Who needs you to come hype somebody up? You already the hype. Nobody needs you. They need you gone. That's it. But anyway, I spoke long enough. I'm out.